If it is a function, what do you do? If it matches this, what do you do? We're going to circle it, okay? We're going to look at all the clues. I'm going to do a think out loud for 3, 4, and 5. Let's do number 3 first. My recommendation is to draw your own picture. What's my hint, class?
Draw your own picture.
Draw your own. Okay? Let's do number 3. I see 2 sets of parentheses. I'm thinking to myself, well, it's not standard form. That has 2 sets of parentheses. This one is factored form. I'm going to write factored form below it. AX minus R1 X minus R2. I recognize that the formula has minus signs, but I have pluses, so I'm going to change my pluses into minuses. So I'm going to have 2x minus minus 1 and x minus a negative 4. Okay. I recognize in my formula that a is equal to 2. A equals 2 means the graph opens up. But here, my graph is opening down. Do you see that? So it can't be number 3. But I want to keep going to help you guys understand the rest of the problem. Okay? So I know it opens up. My R values are -1 and -4. So if you graph this, yours is going to look like -1 on the x-axis, -4, and then my graph opens up. So the roots R1 and R2 match my picture, right? Because they're both into the quadrants of quadrants 2 and 3. So if you want to write the quadrant numbers, you can. Write down the quadrant numbers. But this graph doesn't match because this one is opening up and my graph I'm trying to match opens down. Therefore, I'm going to reject this one. Let me apply this to question number 5 now. In question number 5, I'm going to write my factored form below because it has 2 sets of parentheses. My A value is 2, so my graph should open up. My R1 value here is a +1. And my R2 value is a +4. Do you see how I'm not circling the minus signs? So my graph should look something like this. Here's 1, here's 4, and the graph opens up. And now let's match it up with my graph. Class, does the concavity match? This one says down, this one says up. No. Does it match my roots? Notice how these are in quadrants 2 and 3. Well, really on the x-axis on the negative side, but these are on the positive side. So in this question number 5, this equation doesn't match this graph. Try question number 4 now. Here I have standard form. So let's write standard form below that. Oh, they tricked us. Do you see how they tricked us? There's only 2 values here, but ours has 3. So if I write ours with 3, this would be 2x squared. -8.9 is your C value. There is no B value. That would be 0x. Again, notice in this problem that there is no x there. So that's a 0x. My A value is 2. So it's going to open up. And my y-intercept My C value is negative 8.9. So my y-intercept is negative 8.9. What does that graph look like? Here is negative 8.9 on my y-axis. And my graph could look like something like this. But let's see if that matches my graph. Class, does this one open up? No. Does this one have a y-intercept of a negative 8.9? Yeah, it eventually goes down. It could reach there at negative 8.9, so that's possible. But both of these clues should match. Therefore, I'm going to reject this equation with that graph.